giving way to the moon and illuminate the universe. At this time a beautiful sunset attract lovers poets to sit on the beach to write. The notification was refreshing atmosphere and soul stirring, did not disrupt the awakening of this beautiful atmosphere, only shouting, one of the young children who is less than 3 months, while his mother was engaged in the work of the house, and children alone in the room shouting loudly, until a red face many shout, and suddenly extinguished the compartment lights without warning, brightly as manger color violet dim took the child, and the silence of the child tears, in mid-side wall glimmered compartment with the same color discharged from this region is a strange creature, and his face was pale dejected faces of the dead, and the color of his skin tends to dark gray, him teeth fangs long eerily, and Frenchman prominent small side of his head. Creature considered to the child with his own eyes the red mysterious look at, and then raised the left hand slightly. He pointed out to the child, making the child rise above the surface of the earth and goes in the direction of the creature. Creature returned to the place, followed by the child, disappeared. Violet light, were lighted room as it was and returned everything to normal. Mother came from a speeding cuisine and it says, "Well, my son, there is no need to weep." I amputated suddenly phrase when I was surprised with the disappearance of her child from the place by, and fired loud cry shook the place, then looking for crying with concern. "Where you built? The taken me? Taken looking for in every place, did not find. When I gave up found sat on the bed party, tears and cessation on her forehead, and then I felt something touch his back, revolted real utter consternation, and immediately behind retreated back, panicked when I found her behind on the bed, embraced quickly as fears that disappear again, then the same held with surprise. But I did not put you on the bed. Who brought you here?" Silent at the moment of her delegation. "This is not important, it is important that you return to safely." Threw these ideas aside behind when it wanted to print a kiss on the head and signed her eyesight on his face and body, and revolted frightened child were exonerated of her hands, then quickly rebounded and retreat with consternation drove her salivate in alarm, and they say with concern, "No, you are not my son, I am confident that." Amputated suddenly phrase substituted expedited a ripple panic after colliding with someone, then fell comatose bout next person carrying and nicely decorated until she slept on the bed, and then take the checks and then sighed saying, "Thank God it is fine." The next hit nicely decorated on her cheek, says the voice as soon to whisper, "Oh, my dear, what happened to you?" The mother regained consciousness, emitted light to her mind suddenly, and mind one batch and reclaimed forgetful slowly, and then taken to open eyes slowly, and consider the next year, then a speeding moderated screaming as I remembered the important thing, saying, "Where is my son, Mario?" Silent moment in which its consideration to the child mulky beside it and then examined it refers to, "See my Mario," said distinguished brother. She said last phrase, then showered tears fall on handicapped girl before saying, "Not days also." Tried to Mario catch emotion, dyed wore on his lips caring smile and sensitize the beautiful hair soft, nicely decorated, says a dim voice, "Gorge. Silva, the matter does not need all this tension and emotion, this is the sun." Moments of silence, during which a look back on the child of the sleeping on the bed, has realized the heart that the child of the sleeping on the bed is not a girl, and not related to any relevant, the transformation of color from white to alasmar, his eyes to the highest, and his body is withering, shaken. Mario strongly had to expel the idea of his head and then approached the child, the campaign of printing a kiss warmly on his head, smiled pale smile, says a clear concern. Has become a beautiful, and the proof of this is the sun, you seem to exhaustion and fatigue. Ignored. Silva had risen from the bed and went out of the room, while the Mario to the eyes of child directly said clear concern of the tone's voice, "I am fully confident that you are not my son." The silence of the moment and shakes the child. He says nervously. Tell me we're real sons, tell me otherwise I will kill. Not completed a total but replace inter alia, thin and accepted at the top of the child upon entry into the Silwa room along with milk, approached Silwa and blamed her. Mario and is fed by milk, did not pass 1 minute until the end of the child bottle milk, sword shade Silwa overwhelming astonishment, felt Mario suddenly incredulously, while Silwa amazement. Impossible. No, I dream of how the completion of drinking milk this speed fairy tale. Smile smile pale my lips Mario before to say. Maybe hungry child, no justification equally Spartan has no basis of health. Said his recent knows perfectly well that the modern Silwa on right and wrong amplified no child this gluttony day, it considered Silwa in the rage and then cried narrowness. Well, I will go and another, who knows might be hungry. Followed her had a heading to the kitchen poured into the top of dozens of questions. Wonderful. It was not my Sundays what? What happens to me? Do I, or that I see a dream or a nightmare? Silent moment which put the amount of milk to lukewarm water in a bottle, the rock head. Perhaps Mario on the right, maybe hungry child. Said last phrase and went out from the kitchen bound to the room, although its depths denies her but it convinced itself, entered the Silwa room depression and sadness clear on the face and then taken nursing her baby milk, surprised the two children drinking milk gluttonously unparalleling during 1 minute was drunk full, as if at first glance drinking milk making Silwa beset in the face of the child with astonishment before the shouting angrily. Enough is enough, it is impossible that the child eat. Amputated suddenly phrase substituted expedited the same short panic when the child protects all undrinkably sweet, not of such as the rest of the children but of the nose. Gaze at Mario with astonishment before to say. What is this? How do that? As I know that children vomiting from their mouths and not from their noses. Shook the body of the Silwa confusion appeared and panic in each an overview of the features and then, they spoke with outrage and narrow. Do nothing, do not sit so silent, I cannot patience, please do something. Said recent inter alia, tears, picked up the Mario a deep breath and then said. What do you want me to do? Considered Silwa with my own eyes Mario directly, it says insistently. I heard from my friend Samira that she went with her husband to the world lives chic Abbas she benefited her husband. Was Mario's short laugh and then other quickly sarcastic smile before elaborating. Didn't believe that guff myths, said Silwa tears of the profusely. Please, Mario if it is not for me to our baby only. Hesitation Mario moments but for the insistence Silwa shook his head and said. Well, we will go a mechanism in the early morning. Blue Silwa on the bed they speak insistently. No, please, now, I cannot patience until the morning. Zuffer Mario strongly, and then said. Well, and you want me? Did not know Mario that hides them much.